There's an America few ever see, beyond city lights, beyond the bustling urban centers and sprawling suburbs, down gravel roads winding through fields where the horizon stretches endlessly and the air feels different. This is rural America, often romanticized in stories and songs. But beneath the surface lies a much harder truth. Here, generations quietly battle poverty, far from headlines and power. They live lives of quiet resilience, often unnoticed. Economic booms rarely reach these small towns. Boarded-up shops and worried parents tell the real story. The prosperity that some enjoy is a distant dream here. Rural poverty is different, marked by isolation, long drives for groceries, and jobs lost to closed factories. The sense of community is strong, but the economic opportunities are few. The land itself bears scars. Soil worked by families who no longer own it, fields that once thrived now lie fallow. Rivers polluted by vanished industries, leaving behind a legacy of environmental damage that affects the health and livelihoods of those who remain. I know this world. I've seen the resilience of farmers, factory workers, and waitresses who work tirelessly, yet remain trapped in a cycle of hardship. Their stories aren't statistics, they're the human cost of neglect. Each face tells a story of struggle, of dreams deferred. To understand America today, we must listen to these hidden voices. They are the backbone of our nation, yet their voices are often drowned out. Their struggle is a call to action we can no longer ignore. It's time to bridge the gap and bring their stories to the forefront. Poverty looks different in the countryside than in the city. For decades, rural poverty rates have outpaced urban ones, 15% in rural areas versus 12% in cities. This isn't just numbers, it's millions living on the edge, in places lacking resources and opportunity. Rural economies, built on a few industries, were devastated by globalization and automation. Jobs vanished, but people stayed, tied to land and family. Costs are higher than they seem. Food deserts, long drives, and vanishing healthcare. The result? Two Americas, one with opportunity, one left behind. This divide isn't just economic, it's cultural, fueling resentment and alienation. Bridging it starts with acknowledging the gap and its roots. Nowhere is rural poverty more visible than in the Mississippi Delta and Appalachia. These regions, rich in history, have endured generational poverty for over a century. The Delta, fertile yet among the poorest, still bears the legacy of slavery and sharecropping. Many counties here have poverty rates above 30%. In Appalachia, coal once provided jobs, but its decline left communities devastated. Child poverty and the opioid crisis are rampant. Over 85% of persistent poverty counties are rural, mostly in the South. Yet amid crumbling infrastructure, there's fierce love for place and a determination to endure. Poverty hits hardest on rural children and minorities, shaping their lives in ways that are often invisible to the rest of the country. In small towns and remote communities, the challenges these young people face are profound and persistent. In 2019, more than 1 in 5 rural children lived below the poverty line. For those under the age of 5, the numbers are even more staggering, nearly 1 in 4. These statistics represent real children, growing up with fewer resources and opportunities than their urban peers. Minority communities in rural America face even deeper disparities. For rural Black and Native American children, poverty rates are double those of rural white children. These gaps are not accidental. They are the result of generations of discrimination and neglect. This is the legacy of systemic racism and exclusion, visible in the crumbling infrastructure, underfunded schools, and limited access to healthcare that many rural minority families experience every day. For children, poverty means more than just going without. It means hunger that distracts from learning, poor health that goes untreated, and dreams that feel out of reach. It means growing up with the weight of uncertainty and the constant worry of not having enough. Teachers witness these struggles firsthand. They see students arrive at school hungry, exhausted, and unable to concentrate. Many educators step in to provide food, comfort, and encouragement, but the need is overwhelming. Single mothers in rural areas are especially vulnerable. Over 40% live in poverty, often juggling multiple jobs, long hours, and the demands of parenting, frequently without reliable childcare or community support. These struggles are not just about economics, they are about justice, dignity, and the right to a fair chance. Rural poverty is a moral issue that demands our attention and action. When we talk about rural poverty, we must remember the faces behind the statistics, the children, families, and communities whose futures are at stake. Their futures depend on our willingness to see, to care, and to act. The choices we make today will shape the opportunities available to the next generation of rural children and minorities. Education should be the great equalizer, but in rural America, schools are often part of the trap. Underfunded and reliant on low property taxes, rural schools struggle to provide even basic resources. They can't attract or keep teachers, offer advanced courses, or bridge the digital divide. Students in rural towns lack the opportunities of their suburban peers. I've seen science labs with peeling charts and outdated equipment, teachers doing their best with little. This inequity limits futures and keeps the cycle of poverty turning. Breaking it means rethinking how we fund schools, so zip codes don't determine destinies. Investing in rural education is investing in America's future. In small towns, the economy depends on a handful of employers. When one closes, the whole community feels it. People stretch every dollar, often working multiple low-wage jobs without benefits. The service industry has replaced stable manufacturing work, leaving many worse off. Economic stress takes a toll on mental and physical health. Families face impossible choices daily. Young people leave for better opportunities, draining talent and shrinking the tax base. As populations age and decline, funding for schools and hospitals dries up. This downward spiral is hard to reverse. Revitalizing rural economies requires more than jobs. It needs investment in small businesses, infrastructure, and stable employment pathways. Only then can these communities hope to thrive again. Despite hardship, rural America is defined by resilience and community. These towns and villages, often overlooked, are home to people who face daily challenges with unwavering determination. Their stories are woven into the fabric of our nation, reminding us that strength is not just found in numbers, but in the bonds that tie neighbors together. Neighbors support each other, organizing potlucks and volunteering. This spirit is their greatest strength. In times of crisis, whether it's a natural disaster or family in need, the community rallies together, offering a helping hand and a warm meal. These acts of kindness are the heartbeat of rural life, creating a sense of belonging and hope. But resilience isn't enough. Rural struggles have been invisible for too long. Many communities face shuttered businesses, dwindling resources, and a lack of investment. The challenges are real, and ignoring them only deepens the divide between rural and urban America. Change starts with seeing these communities as vital to our nation's fabric. Rural America is not just a place on a map, it's a source of values, traditions, and innovation that benefit us all. Recognizing their importance is the first step toward meaningful progress. Policy must address structural inequalities, reform school funding, invest in infrastructure, expand healthcare, and support local economies. These changes require commitment from leaders and citizens alike, ensuring that rural voices are heard and their needs are met with real solutions. Empathy is essential. Look past statistics to the real people behind them. Every number represents a family, a child, a dream for a better future. Listening to their stories helps us understand the true impact of policy and the urgency of action. The future isn't written. Hope grows in community gardens, small businesses, and the determination of those who refuse to give up. Rural innovation and entrepreneurship are shaping new opportunities, proving that these communities are far from stagnant, and young people choosing to stay or return are breathing new life into their hometowns. Their energy and ideas are vital for building a brighter tomorrow. By shining a light on these struggles and working together, we can help rural America thrive. It takes awareness, compassion, and collective action to create lasting change. Opportunity shouldn't depend on geography. Every community, no matter how small or remote, deserves the chance to flourish and contribute to our shared future. Every American deserves the chance to build a decent life. Together, we can ensure that rural voices are heard, their challenges addressed, and their hopes realized.